Prince Harry will jet back to Britain for a special ceremony at St Paul's Cathedral for the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games on Wednesday. Now, while the Duchess of Sussex won't join her husband in the UK, the pair will be reunited for a trip to Nigeria later in the week. So, will Harry reconcile with other members of the royal family during this whistle-stop trip to the UK? Well, joining me now is the former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole. Michael, always a pleasure, my friend. I'm wondering, to explain all of this nonsense with Nigeria. Meghan has found, hasn't she, some ancient heritage that she has with Nigeria. I'm being slightly facetious. And they gave her a plaque that described her as a warrior princess.
Good afternoon, Darren. I'm sure the pleasure is entirely mine. I think the first thing to say is that praise for Prince Harry for the initiative of the Invictus Games could not be high enough. Invictus meaning unconquered. It's often said that nobody comes off the battlefield unwounded, and the casualties of 22 different nations are now taking part in these brilliant Invictus Games, which of course were initiated in 2014. That was all pre-Meghan. And it's interesting that the website of Buckingham Palace talks in very measured tones about this, and it says, paying tribute to Prince Harry, he did it with the help of the Ministry of Defence and also the Royal Trust of the Prince and Princess of Wales, at the time they were the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. So his brother and sister-in-law were involved at the outset in the Invictus Games. And of course now he is not on speaking terms with them because of all the unkind, cruel, unjust and unjustifiable things that he and his wife Meghan have said or had said on their behalf in books and on television programmes about the royal family. But dealing with your very cogent point about Nigeria, because Prince Harry's coming here this week, and I'm sure we'll welcome him, and I'm quite sure he will see his father, the king, but his wife will not be coming. And it is said, and I believe it, that maybe that's because she feels she might be booed in the streets.
Oh, absolutely.
That did happen before when they arrived at St Paul's Cathedral. There was some booing on another occasion. But she's going straight to Nigeria. Now, Meghan, who of course is of mixed race, she does claim Nigerian ancestry. I'm not quite sure what percentage it is. But what happened was that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex met the Minister of Defence of Nigeria, and somehow he invited them to go on a visit. And so they're going. And of course, it's the most populous country in Africa. I think they will be seeing exactly what a huge country in Africa looks like and what the people do and how they do it. And I hope probably, well, in fact, almost certainly they'll see some of those poor children, those poor girls who were abducted by Boko Haram terrorists a couple of years ago and went through a terrible ordeal. So that's the situation. It will be an interesting week because while Prince Harry is here at St Paul's Cathedral, 2 miles away at Buckingham Palace, the King will be hosting a garden party when I'm sure he'll be saying thank you to a lot of people who made the coronation, which the first anniversary is tomorrow, Monday, thanking them for all their work. And then we see the King and the Queen doing what they do best, leading the country, and the King looking so very relaxed and so very happy. And those moving scenes at a cancer care centre at University College Hospital in London, mixing with people who are going through what he is and doing what they do so well, relating to people and showing leadership. What is courage but grace under pressure, somebody said, and I think that's about right.
Yeah, I've been deeply impressed, I must say, with Prince Charles. I was about to say there, I can't get over it. I can't get out of it. Do you think actually public perception of the Queen Consort has changed as well over this period?
Completely differently. I'll tell you one thing, Darren, if you have a moment. I was at the Windsor Horse Show with my wife in 1994, and we were invited to a marquee where the Queen was going to be at a reception. And while we were just inside the entrance, a woman came in and she said, "Would it be all right if I stood with you? Would it be okay? Will we be in the way? Will the Queen come over here?" And she was shaking but like a leaf. And that was Mrs. Parker Bowles. And that was the first time ever she was in the presence of the Queen. Wow. And she was worried that the Queen would, absolutely, I was there. And it was part of the introduction of her into royal circles. That was 11 years before those two people got married on a very cold day in April in Windsor. And of course, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh did not attend the actual wedding ceremony. So that's how far we've come. And as I've written today in the Sunday Express, the transformation from Mrs. Parker Bowles, who was hated by many people, to the stay and comfort, which she quite clearly is to the King. She's playing a more prominent role, and she's doing brilliantly at a time when he is undergoing his cancer treatment. And I commend her and congratulate her.
All right, Michael Cole there, thank you very much for your thoughts as ever.